now, right now. Right 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 now, right now. Oh, I got a real good feeling.
We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We gotta add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. Well, what's happening? It's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government. Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your week daily morning show where we bring you the latest and everything Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about the major rally that's just occurred on Bitcoin and the subsequent crash that has occurred over the last 90 minutes. Has a new major rally begun on Bitcoin? Where is this volatility coming from, and what does it mean for Bitcoin? We're going to be discussing all of that and more in today's episode. So if you are looking forward to today's episode, I would highly encourage you, and I do apologize for that, still trying to figure out how to get this thing to mute itself. Still new to Apple. Anyway, if you're looking forward to today's episode, I would encourage you to hit that subscribe button because we're posting content every single day here on the Crypto Jeb YouTube channel. We go live 5 days a week, and then we also are posting videos 5 days a week. That's right. I am going to, at least for the time being, be attempting to post at least one video every single weekday, and I'll probably be doing Sunday videos as well, although I'm not going to commit to that right now because I don't want to overstretch myself. But the last two videos that went up, yesterday's video and the video that went up on Monday, did really well. First video got like 4,000 views. The second one got about 11,500 views. The second video got about 100 subscribers. So if you're here from that video, welcome. I love talking about Bitcoin. I love talking about this concept called financial sovereignty. That's the idea of getting control over your finances and growing them for the betterment of yourself, your family, your community, and the rest of mankind, because I believe in a lot of generosity. And I want you guys to be able to become successful because I've watched the journey that has brought me on bringing financial sovereignty into myself and my family's life. And that's even led to a really cool announcement that we're going to be making here in the next couple of weeks. Not going to be announcing that just yet, but you will be finding out what that is before long. And also, one final announcement before we jump into it. I have, as you know, reactivated the Crypto Jeb Discord. I was just talking in there right before we went live, so shout out to everybody up over there. I'll go ahead and just show on chat. You can see there's a conversation going on right here. I said I feel like a knucklehead for not keeping the Discord server going. I really do. You know, we built the channel. We built this, man, we built the channel so big, and I just really kind of miss a certain golden age that we had in the channel. I really miss the time where it was just myself and a camera and you guys, and there's the Discord server, and we had educational products, so I was bringing value to you guys in that form too. That made it me doing this full time financially viable. It allowed for me to really get to know you guys and have a great community with you guys, and the Discord server was an integral part of that. I really loved just spending hours in there back in the day, just talking with you guys, and so I'm really excited to have that back. It seems like a lot of people are excited to have that back. A lot of people in chat over here in the Discord. There's 5 or 10 people talking over here right now. I'll be in that from time to time. I'm going to try and be active in that at least one time every weekday so that I'm continuing to post content in there. And I'm just really excited, guys. I think that we're going to go into another renaissance of this channel, and I've got so many cool ideas. Some of them you're probably going to think I'm crazy for at the beginning. I'm not going to lie. I've got some announcements coming up, and you guys are probably going to think I'm insane. But I am confident. I'm very confident. Over a couple of months, several months of praying and thinking about all this, that you guys are going to be so excited for it in the long run. All right, let's read some chat, and let's get into it. I think we picked up a cold while we were at Hollywood Studios, so forgive me if I sniffle a little bit. Latake. I have no idea how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry. Lataka. I'm going to go with Lataka. I think that's it. I'm just going to take my phone and rely heavily on my case because I muted it and it's still making noise. So we're just going to put that over there. Philly Skills 1428 in chat. Crypto Mini Bike in chat. David is in chat. Borchardet. I'm not sure. I'm probably butchering that too. I'm My Hero is in chat. Jerry Boss Guru Gladiator Grrr is in chat. Crypto Mini Bike said, good morning, Jeb and Sarah. Good morning to you as well. Investo K said, run now. Drop a tell me in chat if anybody knows where the Real Good Feeling song is from. I would love if someone knows where I got that song from, because that's been the theme song of the channel for like 4 years now. Nigel's in chat. Jeremy Shorter, Jojo, Alex Nibo, Graham Kershaw, Thomas Post, and Grand Roofing Incorporated all in chat today. Let's go ahead and jump right on into it. We got a lot to talk about right now. Bitcoin trading at $26,200, down 2% over the last hour, up 0.5% over the last 24 hours, and generally down on the week. And the thing that we want to talk about today is this movement right here. As you can see, Bitcoin has gone through an exceptionally large rally over the last 5 hours and change. And I want to discuss what this means for Bitcoin. What is this volatility? Where is it going to lead? Why is it happening? Let's just analyze this and try and figure out what's going on. Well, the first thing that I want to do is I kind of want to back up and go over some of the background information that's driving this market right now. I discussed quite a lot of it in the two-part series that I just put up on Monday and Tuesday about the United States Federal Reserve. By the way, I do want to make a correction. In the second video, I said that housing prices are low right now. That is obviously not the case. Even our home is at an all-time high in property value right now. What I was trying to get at is that not so much that it's a buyer's market. What I was trying to get at is that it's more that you don't want to be selling your house right now because the prices are going to go up. So apologies for that. About a year ago, home prices were down. That was a mistake. I knew what I was talking about. I just didn't convey that very well. So if you saw that video and you're like, what the heck? It's at the buyer's market. Prices are sitting pretty high right now. What I was trying to say is that now is not a good time to be selling your house because the houses are about to go up. Let's talk about some of the background geopolitics and macroeconomic analysis that is the background of what goes on Bitcoin. It's so easy for us to get tunnel vision on Bitcoin and ignore the macro, to ignore the economics, to ignore the geopolitics, to ignore the domestic politics, to ignore the industrial landscape of what's going on in the States. And I think that's a mistake because they are some of the biggest drivers of Bitcoin. Make no mistake, most of the largest drivers of the Bitcoin market do not show up on Cointelegraph, they do not show up on CoinDesk, and they do not show up on CryptoQuant. They don't show up anywhere in those news publications that exclusively talk about crypto because crypto is not exclusively driven by those markets. Crypto would honestly, if you're looking at it from a news perspective, make more sense to be a subheader under a publication that talks about the broader financial markets. So, for example, I'm not talking about political leaning here, so don't say, Jeb, they're left, or Jeb, they're right. That's not my point. But it would almost make a little bit more sense when you're looking at the news and the things that impact crypto, if you were to look at crypto as a subheader of like the Wall Street Journal or Market Watch or whatever, or Barron's or whatever you want to look at, where you look at financial news, Yahoo Finance, who cares, whatever you want to say, some kind of financial news outlet. It would almost make sense if cryptocurrency was a subheader of that because it's integrally connected to economics, it's integrally connected to geopolitics, and it's integrally connected to economic data. So the economic data right now is showing us that CPI has continued to climb, and it will probably continue to climb at least to 4%, maybe a little bit higher. The effective federal funds rate has exited its period of hiking and has started moving sideways. We don't know for sure that the hiking has completely ended, but for the most part, it's done. We're probably going to see 1, maybe 2 more rate hikes, but for the most part, we've more or less come back down. The question here is, how does Bitcoin move into that season? Well, if the macroeconomic data was negative, i.e., we were seeing the United States Central Bank balance sheet shrink and we were seeing the quantitative tightening going on that makes it much more difficult for anyone to want to invest in a risk-on market such as cryptocurrency. Remember, cryptocurrency might as well be a subheader of the broader markets. It's its own thing, and we like to think that it's over here and it doesn't have anything to do with the broader markets because we're the rebels. That's not true. That's not the case. There is a significant correlation and causational relationship. So the quantitative tightening is going on and the interest rates have been hiking. Both of those things are probably going to slow down and stop relatively soon. The Fed's not going to go through QT forever. They're not going to roll off everything off their balance sheet. Eventually, they're going to stop, and there's going to be much more money in the economy at that point than there was pre-pandemic. The effective federal funds rate will stop hiking and pretty much has at this point. And so we're entering into a new epoch, the third epoch post-pandemic of the effective federal funds rate and of the Federal Reserve policy, and is less bearish than the last one we were just in. It's not bullish, but it's neutral. We're going from bearish to neutral, and when you throw a ball in the air, there's an infinitesimal point in time where it sits right there in midair and is not moving, and that's where we're moving into right now, except that's not going to be an infinitesimally small point of time. That's probably going to be about 18 months, and that's much less bearish than bearishness. Neutrality is always less bearish then bearishness. The United States may not have counted Switzerland as an ally in the Second World War, but at least they didn't have to count them as an enemy. And that's what we're moving into right now. And I do think that that will have a bullish impact on Bitcoin because it means that the bears will have less fuel. They won't be able to fuel themselves with heightened interest rates. They won't be able to fuel themselves with massive amounts of quantitative tightening. In the next 12 months, both of those trends are likely going to stop almost entirely. So that brings us to today. If we're moving into this more, not so much bullish, but less bearish time frame, then what impact does that have on our shorter term analysis? Well, obviously, Bitcoin's been going through a major rally, and it's also going through a major crash. And so I want to talk about that because I think it's important that we look at this from both sides. And it's funny, I started this stream, the eventual conclusion of this stream, I'll just go ahead and tell you now. Normally I wouldn't tell you till the end, but I'll go ahead and tell you now, was going to be don't trust this rally. And it looks like Bitcoin kind of jumped the gun and got ahead of me. But nevertheless, let's talk about this. Bitcoin was right here going through a bear pennant. And you can see that bear pennant played out. Bitcoin broke down, and it basically fulfilled the bear pennant almost perfectly. Then Bitcoin went down here and created a symmetrical triangle pattern once again, which in theory created another bear pennant. This theoretically should have led Bitcoin to a major breakout and would have led us straight through this short trade that I set up for you on Monday. That is not what happened. Instead, Bitcoin broke massively to the upside. Led by what? MACD was bullish before we got to the end of the pennant. RSI was bullish. These were good indications. Bitcoin was looking very strong on that shorter term hourly chart. And in fact, we even had a buy signal coming in on Lux Algo, and trend catcher was always green, so that buy signal was technically confirmed on the hourly chart. We've had a buy signal for quite some time on the hourly chart, going back a couple of weeks. So technically, this wasn't a bad trade. And in fact, if you did get into this trade early enough, if you're up at 5 a.m. and you saw us break bullish here and you saw the trend catcher turn green, you saw the trade take profit up here, and you saw the MACD and the RSI, that is a trade that I absolutely would have taken if I had seen that. This was a great trade setup. I'm talking a great trade setup. If you're watching this market and you see this happen, where you have bullish Lux Algo, a buy signal, MACD's bullish and crossing 50, RSI bounces off of its 14 interval moving average, bounces above 50, we break through this downtrend, we break through 26,357, all at the same time. Remember, that's a critical level of support that we've discussed previously. And then you move forward here and the price targets all the way up here. Yeah, I'm entering that. That's a good long. Of course, you'd want to go through some planning. Don't just enter it blindly, have a plan, have a stop loss and everything. But it was a good trade. It was a good trade. If you made it, then good for you. The problem is, this stream goes up at 10 a.m. And so by the time 10 a.m. rolls around, the movement's over. This was not a movement that broke the trend. This was a counter trade. This was a contrary trade. Bitcoin is in a predominant downtrend. For Bitcoin to break into a predominant uptrend, Bitcoin needs to break above this downtrend. What is that downtrend, you might ask? That downtrend shows up on the 4-hourly chart and above. Shows up everywhere, but it's most obvious on the 4-hourly chart and above because it represents the downtrend set by the XRP case being settled in favor of Brad Garlinghouse and the other executives. For the most part, they lost one part of it, but for the most part, XRP won that case from the SEC. The rally here, and then also the rally right here last Tuesday. This downtrend is significant. It's one of the most important downtrends in Bitcoin. In fact, it is the single most important downtrend in the entire cryptocurrency market right now. And I don't exaggerate when I say that. So for Bitcoin to break into a new primary uptrend, rather than a secondary uptrend, which is what it just did, it needs to break that downtrend. It didn't do it. The trade setup that I showed you, again, this has already happened, so you missed out on this trade setup, but you can take the principles. This trade setup was going to send Bitcoin to right about here. That's where the take profit was on the 1-hourly chart, Lux Algo. See that? That was not a buy signal that was going to send us through that downtrend. That could have happened. It's possible that Bitcoin could have rallied up here and then broken through, and then we would have had another trade on top of that. But remember, around major levels of support and resistance, you find a no trade zone. Don't enter a trade right next to a support or resistance level. Wait for a confident break above or a confident rejection. Don't trade right around the zone. So when we got right here, you should have been getting out of that trade because you knew we were getting close to an incredibly important downtrend. And then that's where today's point came in. Again, this stream went live at 10 a.m. Around 10 a.m., we were seeing there's a small bounce, but we're actually in a downtrend. It's probably going to continue to the downside. And so then on the hourly chart at the top of this hour, we see that there is a sell signal. Bitcoin had hit the take profit, and this rally was pretty much over. And I think that that's crucial for a couple of reasons. Number one, the MACD is crossing bearish on the daily chart for the first time in, a month and a half. We also see the RSI is below the 50 level, below the 14 interval moving average. It had been trending above that. Now it's below it. Neither one of those are bullish factors. We've got a general downtrend on the daily chart to contend with. Now that we've done this movement, we have a massive wick high, which in a way indicates that the bulls have strength because they managed to go that high, but it also doesn't actually speak all that well of the bulls because the bulls rallied that far very quickly, but the bears collapsed all of that price action even faster than it happened in the first place. Looking at the volume, there was massive green volume, but there's also massive red volume. So this is, in theory, a somewhat of a win for the bulls, but I wouldn't call it an overall win. Now, you might think, but Jeb, we could come back down here to $26,000 and bounce and rally again. Maybe. Maybe we hold here at 26,300 for a little while, and then we correct. Well, the problem here, guys, is that we have a left shoulder, we have a head, and you all know if we just print that right shoulder, we've got an inverse head and shoulders pattern. Neckline's going to be right there. Shoulder line's already right here at 26,367. Normally, the shoulder line of an inverse head and shoulders pattern is already determined because the reason the market bounced there was because there was already a level in play. It's normally the neckline that is reestablishing for the first time. If you extrapolate here, excuse me. This is an inverse head and shoulders pattern. If you extrapolate here, if Bitcoin is able to hold down here, then that does give you that breakout above the downtrending level of resistance. The issue here is that if we don't hold here at 26,357, then Bitcoin won't be able to go through that inverse head and shoulders pattern. We'd like that inverse head and shoulders pattern to happen. The problem is, Bitcoin's already, and this is kind of the point I was trying to make here, Bitcoin is already broken below the shoulder line. The shoulder line's here at 26,357. We've technically broken below that. We could get back above it, and we could trade sideways here for a little while, and then all we have to do is rally. And then we're in an inverse head and shoulders pattern, and that's quite bullish. But again, you still have those issues of the longer-term technicals of the MACD and the RSI to contend with. Now, again, the bullish side of this is that Lux Algo is green. Trend catcher is green. We have not had a buy signal yet, but trend catcher is green. If we see a buy signal come in because Bitcoin's able to break above this downtrend, then huzzah, that's great. That means we have a confirmed buy signal. As you know, confirmed buy signals generally lead Bitcoin to the upside by at least 10% on the daily chart. Normally, substantially more. If we get a break of that downtrending level of resistance, which is looking more and more practical at any given moment, because the downtrend is obviously getting lower and Bitcoin is, I think, getting a little bit stronger. That collision is eventually going to happen. Bitcoin's going to break through the downtrend. It'll be able to go to the upside aggressively. Eventually, that's going to happen. Eventually, I think that trend catcher will be met by a green buy signal and Bitcoin will go up. The question here, though, is do we bet on it breaking to the upside when that hasn't been confirmed? We've got a lot of good ideas. We've got an inverse head and shoulders pattern set up here. We've got trend catcher on the daily chart being green. Those are all wonderful bullish signals. But can we trade by them yet? No. And the reason is Bitcoin is still in a confirmed downtrend. In fact, if you were to look at the Elliott waves, you could call this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe. It's a little bit ugly. But the point is you're having corrections followed by, you're having primary movements to the downside because it's a bearish movement, followed by corrections. Primary movement to the downside, followed by correction. Primary movement to the downside has started right now. Again, you have three types of movements on the chart. This is kind of part of wave theory. You've got your primary movements. Those are your uptrends. Then you've got your secondary movements. Those are your counter trends. You can see those right here. And then you've got your tertiary movements. Those are these kind of movements. Those are movements that are actually going in the direction of the trend. That's these guys right here. They're moving in the direction of the trend, but they're nested in a secondary movement, which is going counter to the trend. The tertiary movements don't matter as much, but the secondary movements are significantly important. If we were to kind of show an example, that's the primary movement down. That's if you just kind of generalize, all right, the market went up this year, right? But if you're more practical, if you're more serious, then it's actually a fractal. It's going down and then it's going up. It's going down, it's going up. It's going down, it's going up. And again, these secondary movements are the movements that we're talking about right now. And that's what we just saw. The primary movement is bearish. It's down. We just kind of generalize the market. Okay, in general, it's down. But there's also an exception. Here's an exception. That general movement is what we're looking to change. If Bitcoin holds at $26,000 and then breaks higher than these levels right here, it breaks above that shoulder line, neckline, breaks above that downtrend, then that would constitute a primary trend reversal. This was a secondary movement that, yes, you could have traded, but you didn't want to stay in it for too long because, again, it was a secondary movement. We're looking for a primary trend reversal. That, if you're trying to swing trade, that primary trend reversal, I think, would happen and be confirmed by trend catcher turning green and breaking above this downtrending level of resistance. So what's the takeaway here? What's the point? The point is that Bitcoin has an opportunity for a new rally to start. And I believe that that is going to happen at some point. The concern is, as the Grand Nagus just said in chat, the Dixie's up. The stocks are, last I checked, down. Yes, quite substantially. And the Fed is still in a rate hiking season. They look like they might be about done, but they're not actually done yet. There's probably going to be at least one more. November 1st is the day to watch for that. None of those three things are bullish for Bitcoin. Stocks correlate positively with Bitcoin, which means if the stocks go down, Bitcoin goes down. If the stocks go up, Bitcoin goes up. The Dixie's negatively or inversely correlated with Bitcoin. Dixie is on a rampage right now, is rallying very, very quickly. And those things are holding Bitcoin down. What I will say is that those are trends that can reverse relatively easily. When the Fed comes out and basically says that they paused interest rates, and that might be 6 months from now before we get that announcement. When they come out and say the interest rates are paused, you're going to see the stock market return to all-time high. By the way, and this is a great opportunity to mention this, if you are not investing in a Roth IRA, you are making a mistake. Let me just take 2 seconds to talk about personal finance here, because this is a side point. You can just skip the next 30 seconds if you want. It's important to secure your future with investing in things that are lower return but more predictable and that have been around for a lot longer. It is an important thing to have a Roth IRA. Invest in crypto, but have that backbone that's going to help you in the long run. How do you do that? I would recommend getting maybe a Fidelity account, maybe a Vanguard account, maybe a Robinhood account. Anybody that does Roth IRAs, I don't care who it is. Set up a Roth IRA. It's $6,500 a year you can put into it. That comes to like $541 a month. You can probably afford $541 a month if you stop eating out and you start actually going to the grocery store and you stop paying for the entertainment of somebody else cooking and cleaning after you. Invest in that. And what do you invest in? You buy whatever that exchange's SPY tracker is. For Fidelity, I think it's SPAIX. You can get more complicated with that. If you don't know what you're doing, just buy the market. Literally just buy the market, which is the SPY. Because the market's probably about to go to all-time high. It's a great time to get into investing in the stock market. In the next year, you're probably going to have like a 14, 15% return. That is an exceptional return. And if you do it like in the next couple of weeks, while we're on these lows, you're also timing the market. You're not timing the market intentionally. You're just getting in at a good time. You're not sitting there waiting to time the market. You just so happen to stumble into good timing on the market. So, personal finance rant over. If you don't have a Roth IRA and you're only in crypto, stay in crypto because it seems like you're interested in it if you're here, especially during a bear market. Well, it's not a bear market, but it's in the accumulation phase. But don't neglect that side of personal finance either. I did for a long time, and I could have had a significantly higher amount of money in the market because I could have started investing in the stock market back here, and I could have doubled my money by now. 65, 70% higher. I could have done that. Didn't do it. Should have. Nevertheless, we're in it now. I'm excited about that. So why do I talk about stocks? Well, stocks are positively correlated with Bitcoin. Dixie's negatively correlated with Bitcoin. Both of those things are drags on Bitcoin right now, but both of those things can turn around, and Bitcoin's showing a lot of signs of strength despite all of those factors. Bitcoin's went through a big rally, didn't it? Where'd this bullish momentum come from? The fact that we popped off like a Roman candle here shows that there's something in the bulls that's excited. They might just be waiting for the right opportunity. So the takeaway for you here today is that it looks like the bulls are sitting in this prime opportunity where they have the desire, they have the drive, they have the enthusiasm to push us into a major rally. They're just looking for an opportunity. There is still an uptrend forming here on the hourly chart. And by the way, crypto is doing a very good job of holding at $1 trillion. Just want to mention that. We're holding at $1 trillion very, very nicely. This is a longer term trend, but it's an important one. We've held at $1 trillion for like 8 months. It's a big deal. Very, very excited to have that happening. All of that to say, Bitcoin looks to be in a position to attempt a major rally in the next few weeks. Could happen tomorrow, could happen today, could happen 3 weeks from now. But at some point, it looks like a major rally is going to come, and it looks like we're getting closer to the end of this correction. And a major movement up is going to be in order relatively soon, and there's going to be a major swing trade opportunity there. You're going to have to watch the market closely because this movement happened, for the most part, in 2 days. And then we spent 3 months correcting. But we corrected in those 3 months the same amount of distance that we moved in 2 days. So subscribe to the channel, hit the post notification bell, because I'm going to be updating you guys pretty much daily on everything that's happening in cryptocurrency that is relevant to you. And I believe that we're going to be able to bring you some value. If you enjoyed today's stream, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Hit that post notification bell so you won't miss a single episode. Make sure to go and check out those videos that we uploaded over the last couple of days. I think you're going to get a lot of value out of those. And stay tuned because we've got some really cool announcements coming. By the way, if you have not already, also make sure to go and join the CryptoJeb Discord server. I have reactivated that. I am very excited about that. There's a lot of people in there talking right now. There's a whole long conversation going on, and I'm about to jump in there and talk to people. Really, really appreciate all of you for tuning in. By the way, don't forget about Lux Algo. It's an incredible technical indicator package that is going to help you make profitable trades. And if you make one trade with it in mind, it will pay for itself in droves. If you're doing this as a hobbyist or as a professional, or you're trying to do trading as a side gig, whatever it is, it's going to help significantly. Even if you're just interested in doing analysis on the market because it's fun to you, it's an incredible technical indicator package. So use coupon code JEB30, JEBB30 for 30% off at checkout. You can find that with the link in the description box down below. And also make sure to sign up for Club DeFi's Principles of Technical Analysis, where I will teach you everything that you need to know about technical analysis. I'm very excited to have you guys in Club DeFi, and I'm also very excited that you guys know about the financial coaching that I offer as well. If you're interested in me helping you with your personal finances so that you can be in a financial position to actually profit in the market, I will help you to dispel some of the myths around getting rich in cryptocurrency. It's not as simple as picking the right penny stock or picking the right penny cryptocurrency and filling the right moon bag and you'll get rich. It's not that simple. There's a lot more to it, and I want to help you guys set up that foundation of personal finance so that when you get to the point of investing in cryptocurrency, you're probably already there, you're doing it correctly, and you're doing it in a way that's not going to bankrupt you, because a lot of people lose a lot of money. Most people lose a lot of money in crypto because they didn't do it the right way from a personal finance standpoint. So if you're interested in any of those opportunities, then you can find all of them with the link in the description box down below. Before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.